welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. Today I have a really quick video for you on Sheepcoin. Now Sheepcoin is a new GameFi coin, okay? So this is it's kind of like a game where you can kind of play with actual real money. So you can kind of think of it like a poker game, but it's on-chain, blockchain stuff. So you really should try to understand this before you decide whether or not you want to buy this coin or play this game and so forth. So I'm going to explain to you how this thing's going to work and basically the system, and then you can kind of come up with the strategy that you think is the best if you decide you want to play with it. So here we have Caesar. Caesar's going to participate in the LGE, so it's kind of like a pre-sale in order to mine some liquidity to provide liquidity. Okay, so he's going to buy some Sheepcoin for 1-to-1 for one Sonic token. So the actual value of Sonic token doesn't matter here. It's actually quantity based. So if you're buying Sonic and then buying Sheep, then you have to consider the price of Sonic. However, if you're just using Sonic, then it's just 1-to-1. So one Sonic for one Sheep in the pre-sale. Okay. Now, after the pre-sale is done, then 95% of those Sonic will be used to LP with the Sheepcoin at the same value. So we'll mint up another 95% of what we minted for the pre-sale, and then we'll put all of those into a liquidity pool on some DEX. Now, of course, we're considering which DEX to use, but likely it's going to be either Shadow, Equalizer, SwapX. It could be any, or Beethoven. It could be any pool that is on Sonic, but perhaps they will bring together all of the pre-salers and ask them which ones they want, because I personally have voting power on most of them, so I have some bias, but let's bring the pre-salers together and we can decide together which actual DEX this liquidity pool will live on. Okay, now along comes Boosted Bill. Boosted Bill wants to play this game. The liquidity pool is live. He can buy and sell Sheep at the current market price. So it's no longer going to be 1-to-1. It's going to be depending on buying and selling and the actual market price. Okay, now the thing that you can do with the Sheep, the first thing you can do with the Sheep is you can use the Sheep to mint wolf NFTs. Okay, so you would, if you are the first person to mint a wolf NFT, then it will cost you 1 sheep. The second wolf costs 2 sheep. The third wolf costs 3 sheep, and on and on and on and on. Okay, so you want to try to mint these wolves early. Okay, now all the sheep that are used to mint wolves are burnt. Now, in addition to actually paying with sheep coins, you also have to pay with some Sonic coins. The default setting is 100 Sonic tokens. Okay, so you would have to pay like 1 sheep and 100 Sonic tokens to mint this wolf. Now, again, this number has a question mark beside it because we will discuss this number with the pre-sellers and decide on the actual number of Sonic tokens that it will cost to mint this wolf. Okay, we'll kind of come together as a community. Now, what can the wolf do? The wolf can eat sheep. Okay, so once per day, the wolf can eat sheep. Okay, the wolf has a hunger, so his hunger constantly grows as he eats sheep. So the first day he can eat 1 sheep. And then after he's eaten 1 sheep, the next day he can eat 2 sheep and 3 sheep and on and on and on. Now, if he doesn't eat anything for 1 week, then he will starve and he becomes useless. He basically dies. Okay, so you have to feed him every week at least. Okay, so if you don't have to eat every day, but if you eat every day, then your starvation is increased by 1 week. So every time you eat, then you have an entire week from that time when you've eaten to eat again. Okay, now where can he eat? He can eat from almost anywhere. Okay, there's only one exception, and I'll show you that later. So if Caesar has a wolf, he can buy some sheep and feed his own wolf if he wants. Okay, now again, when the wolf eats these sheep, they will be burnt, but I'll explain that in a second. He can also eat from the liquidity pool. He can also eat from other people's wallets. So on the front end, there will be like a list of all of the destinations, all of the holders of the sheep coin, and then you can select which one to eat from. Now, he can only eat from one. He can't use a combination of wallets. So if he needs to eat 10 and Boosted Bill only has 9 sheep, then he cannot eat Boosted Bill's 9 sheep, okay, because of the hunger. Now, the liquidity pool has some restrictions on it. You can only eat from the liquidity pool 3 times in a row. So if you eat from the liquidity pool and then you go and eat Boosted Bills, then you can eat 3 times from the liquidity pool again. But if once you've eaten 3 times from the liquidity pool, then you cannot eat from the liquidity pool until you eat some circulating supply. So either eat your own sheep or someone else's sheep, okay? Moving on. So what happens to the sheep is the sheep are burnt for the most part, okay? So if you eat from the liquidity pool, then 100% of the sheep that you eat are burnt. Now, if you eat from someone else, whether it be your own or whether it be someone else's sheep, so anywhere else other than the liquidity pool, then 75% of those sheep are burned, and the owner of the wolf gets to keep 25% of those sheep. So you actually steal some of somebody else's sheep and you burn the rest, okay? Now, again, it depends on what your hunger level is, right? Now, if you don't want to be eaten, we have the sheepdog. Okay, so the sheepdog will protect the sheep from the wolf. So you can deposit your sheep into the sheepdog. However, the sheepdog has to eat, he needs food. So you have to pay the sheepdog in order to protect you. So first of all, when you deposit into the sheepdog, you are now protected from the wolf. In order to withdraw from the sheepdog, you have to trigger the sleep function. So you have to put the dog to sleep, wait 2 days, and then you can withdraw from the sheepdog. Now, when you withdraw, you have to pay Sonic tokens to withdraw from him. You have to pay the rent in order to pull your sheep out of the sheepdog, okay? Now, currently the setting is 10 S tokens per day. Okay, again, this is a number that we will discuss with the pre-sellers to adjust whether we think it's too high, too low, perfect, or so forth. It's a set number, okay? So you deposit into the sheepdog. You have to wait at least 2 days to withdraw. So you would trigger go to sleep, wait 2 days, and then you can withdraw from the sheepdog, as long as you pay the S tokens in order to withdraw from those sheepdogs. Okay. Now moving on. Now, the second benefit of the sheepdog is the sheepdog gets extra sheep. It has APR on it, okay? So first of all, remember we paid Sonic tokens in order to mint the wolf NFTs, right? Now these Sonic tokens are used to buy sheep and put APR on the wolf, or sorry, on the sheepdog. So 95% of them, the other 5% goes to the team for development. Now, so 95% of those Sonic tokens are used to buy sheep from the market and send those sheep as APR to the depositors inside the sheepdog, okay? Also, the rent that is paid by people when they withdraw is also used to buy sheep from the market and put APR on the sheepdog as well. There is a public function to trigger this buyback mechanism. All of these Sonic tokens are sitting inside the dog, and someone can trigger this buy sheep function, which will, compound the APR onto the sheepdog. And that's pretty much it. So, like I said, this is how the system works. How to win at this game, I don't know. This is up to you. You try to think of the best strategy you think is to play this game, whatever you think is good, and you can decide if you want to play. But this is how it's going to work. Okay, I hope this has been useful and interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.